Welcome, dear friends. Here we are checking our audio. Looks like we're doing good. Welcome to our Learning with Emmanuel series. Today, we're going to continue our studies of the book Peace by Emmanuel, chapter 13, that is titled Patience and Service. Today, Emmanuel tells us, quote, patience is not inactivity, unquote. Some of us think that we are patient when we just don't do things, but he's going to teach us much more. He continues his message by saying, patience is a state of understanding for which we lacked adequate words to define. Understanding with a spirit of service, capable of accepting the difficulties of existence while bearing the duty to cooperate so that they disappear, unquote. So let's break it down, dissect it like my neuroanatomy self would like to do. So he says, patience is not inactivity. So just not doing things is not being patient. Patience is a state of understanding. And he says, for which we lack words. There are things that the superior spirits know that they lack adequate words to define for us because our language is limited. Imagine if you're devoid of your physical body, you have this ability to understand based on your level of evolution, different things of this world and other worlds in the universe. And they have to explain it to us in the language that we have. That may or may not be as rich, and he's currently telling us this state of understanding is not able to be defined. He says, understanding with a spirit of service. So what we kind of know now, being patient is to be of service. To be of service to whom, friends? To our own selves. Remember, we have our physical body to take care of, our perispiritual body to take care of, our emotional and psychological states to be taken care of. And then when we take care of those, not being selfish is not selfish self-care, is just caring for the instruments we have to exist in this realm of life so that we can be of service to God. To be of service to God means, yes, taking care of ourselves so we can last longer and serve more, but also reach the broader community around us. And he will continue understanding with a spirit of service, capable of accepting the difficulties of existence. So what are our current difficulties of existence that you and I undergo to? Like later in the chapter, remember, we're only capturing phrases. We're not able to do the full message in the mornings when we do our studies. But he says we have varied challenges, right? You have your challenges. Your loved one have your challenges. I have my challenges. Our center has our challenges, right? Our broader communities, every single one of us, the 8 billion of us incarnate, have our challenges in this life. And then we have to think about the spirits who are around us undergoing similar challenges. So we are capable of accepting these difficulties while bearing the duty to cooperate so that they disappear. So we have the duty to cooperate with life and work within our state of mind, where we are, how we are presenting ourselves in the world, so the difficulties will disappear. And they disappear not because we pray and have prosperity gospel, but we work with one another, cooperation between us incarnates, cooperation between us and discarnate, cooperation between discarnates with one another. So this cooperation we have today of reading the messages of Emmanuel in different books, there was a cooperation between Emmanuel and Chico Xavier and Jesus, right? And his mission. And you and I are cooperating. We cooperate with all those who build the programs we used to be here on the microphone and the camera. And then now we are cooperating with our mentors who inspired us to be here today. He says, quote, let us have patience, unquote, 2 words that do not indicate indifference. but instead summon us to the courage of collaborating quietly in the extinguishing the stumbling blocks that we face. So everyone will have stumbling blocks. And then we make a decision. Today I move forward and my stumbling block is smaller, and or maybe my decision is to remove the stumbling block for someone else. Are we looking around for opportunities to serve, to hold that door, to say thank you, to observe what's happening? So today I'll give you an example. I was at a store running an errand. My glasses fell on the ground. I didn't notice. The person after the checkout noticed it. They didn't let me leave the store. They made a point of giving it back to me. So today I can look at you and see what we're reading, right? So those were those people looking out for the customers. Yes, they were. I was a customer, but they could have just looked the other way. So they were looking. They were cooperating, right? A stumbling block would have been, I don't have my reading glasses, so how can we do the messages? So we are always inspired in little things so that we can every day build and be responsible for more and more. What if we have blocks, trials? He says, if you find yourself before inevitable trials, accept them for your own good, so they do not expand to the detriment of your peace. So there are trials, and we learn this in the gospel. There are things in this life that we created for ourselves. And a lot of the trials are voluntary. There are things that we insist on doing and being that prevent us from moving forward, and it's suffering. So if I believe my life is hard, and I can only do things if I plan. If I have this in order, that in order, I will be suffering. I'm creating suffering. Even our Buddhist friends talk about it, right? Even before Spiritism. So if we accept the trials that are inevitable, either because of a choice I made in this life or something that is I'm now able to expiate from a previous life, then I don't create suffering. I don't expand the suffering and detriments to being peaceful. Remember, the book is named Peace. Excuse me, let me put here that we are doing this message. And he says, to the extent possible, do not rebel or become angry along the path. So this is something we can control. We can see the challenge, see our limitations, and grow, and choose not to be rebellious against it. Continue along the road life has laid out to you. So there is a path. Remember, there is a reincarnatory plan. There's decades of planning for us to return, from our great-great-grandparents to come together to raise our ancestors, to bring our parents today. There was a laid out plan that took centuries, perhaps. And now we are in a position that with this knowledge of Spiritism, we are growing and strengthening ourselves to move forward. So we continue in the road. We do not give up. We don't allow those around us to give up. And that's part of this continuous looking out for others. When we see others the way they are, then we are able to help. And maybe that look, that acknowledgement, saying thank you, looking people in the eye, reading their name tags, looking out, it may be the opportunity that you and I have to save a life because we built the confidence in someone who is down. Think about it. What all of us want in this life: to be seen, to be acknowledged, to be recognized. So when we see and acknowledge and recognize others, we are building them. We say, I see you, I'm with you, we're all together, and Jesus is caring for all of us. He says patience is not a cushion for surrendering to the sleep of inertia. So just being patient, oh, I'm going to stay at home, do my thing. No, it's patience and service. I go out and I go to the Spiritist Center, even though it may not be convenient. I go out and go to work and serve. I go out and volunteer. I help. I hold the door. I help someone carry their groceries. I say thank you. We need to go back to civility. And to be civil is to acknowledge that I'm one in a community. I don't live alone. You don't build your own roads, your own cars, get to go to the sea, extract the petroleum, to refine it to gasoline, to build the car that you're going to use. Even to grow the vegetables, we have to get the seeds in the soil. And we count on the sun to grow, to photosynthesize the oxygen that is mostly photosynthesized in the ocean, but the plants around us do as well, so we can breathe and we can have the physical life on the earth. So we are interdependent. As we enter December, this is when this first gonna air. And no, it doesn't matter, because in January, February, March, we're still gonna be interdependence if we watch this in the future. So I depend on you, you depend on others, and we all together come here to fulfill the law of progress, to fulfill law of society, right? So hopefully today we will see patience being built within ourselves through service to others and fulfilling our will, that is God's will on this earth, is to grow and to improve and to make it a better place, moving this planet towards a planet of regeneration. Dear friends, it's always a blessing and a joy to be with you on this Learning with Emmanuel series, and I wish you well. May God bless us. God willing, we'll be back with you with another study soon. Take care. Bye-bye.